Welcome back to LEGO Theorists. Today we're reviewing set number 71813 Wolf Mask's Shadow Dojo. It has 1,190 pieces and just released March 1st, 2024. It comes with 8 characters, 4 of which are the ninja, Climber Lloyd, Climber Kai, Climber Nia, and Climber Zane, and of course, 4 familiar villains, Lord Ross, Jordana, Cinder, and a wolf mask claw warrior. This is definitely my favorite set of the wave. I'm really excited to be building this and to really just be reviewing it and just to have in my collection. But without further ado, let's get straight on into the review. So here's the main structure of the Shadow Dojo. However, it breaks up into 2 parts. So first I want to take a look at the arena up front. So here's the arena that's not actually attached to the dojo, but it just kind of sits up in the front. So you can see there's plenty of room for studs, and there's of course these translucent studs up here where you can kind of like battle 2 characters, and I'll show you that in a second. But I really like this inclusion because it really is reminding me of all those times where you had spinjitzu battles against each other, even maybe the Sons of Garmadon headquarters, which kind of still fit that, and I think that might be one of the last times we really had one of those kind of battle arenas. So this is really reminiscent of that, and I really like that. You can see that there's these stickers over here which have this weird like Ouroboros symbol where there's this like snake or possibly even dragon maybe eating its own tail, and so that detail is just really appreciated. Of course, it's sticker. Second one on the right side here, and you can see these sticks. You see lots of mobility because it's on a ball joint right here. If you have it flat, it goes between these like little like teeth pieces and it won't move at all. And if you move it up, it gets caught on this arch. However, if you wanted to, you could easily customize that. But let's actually put some characters on and show you how it works. So here I've put Lloyd versus Jordana on the left, and I'm gonna kind of like represent what you can do with it. Of course, you can get a friend, or you can maybe play it on your own. You can choose what weapons they have, then you can kind of take these, you can kind of fight, and you can kind of see who wins, of course. Put it back on, maybe exchange it for someone like, say, Lord Ross, who has a different weapon, and now you can kind of battle that out, kind of dodge each other. Of course, this is just with me, and you can see, okay, Lloyd wins again. Maybe it's because of his weapons or something, so you can really customize it, really change the experience, and I really love that here. But moving away from that, now let's look at the main dojo, which I feel like is the overall masterpiece of this build and why it is such a great March 2024 set, and honestly one of the best location builds ever for Ninjago. So starting on the left side, you can see there's these like spear racks and this weapon holder kind of here, a zip line's attached, just the kind of spot to store your weapons, which I feel is like a very nice inclusion when you actually include the arena. You can take these off. The spears are loose, but I feel like that's okay. I feel like they could have possibly put like some little Technic pins that could hold it in place and also easy to remove the spears. But for what it is, I think it really works well, and it is a worthy inclusion. So you can have your characters have different weapons in the arena. And then you can see there's one of these little jumper tiles here. You'll see many more of these in here, which also another welcome inclusion because it makes this whole place feel like, okay, there's a lot of movement here. Now moving along, we have the Gong of Shattering right here attached to these like chains. Of course, the main gong like piece in the center, which is a shield piece, came in the January 2024 wave. But now you're seeing the full thing itself that's appeared in the trailer and will probably appear in the show, of course, with this like spinner crown that came back from Spinjitzu sets back in 2012, 2011, which is a really nice inclusion. And of course, here's the wolf too. Little feature with it, if you pop its head out, the rock will fall. I'll show that again one more time. So you can just put the rock right up in here, close the mouth, and the second you pull the wolf head up, it's supposed to fall. Then moving after that to the right side, you have more of these studs which you can easily move your character around. I really like that movement. It's really reminding me of the Master of the Mountain sets and the whole Skull Sorcerer's Dungeon, which I really liked those sets a lot, and I still keep them right in my room to see constantly. So it's really nice to see that. Over here you have this chain, which if I grab someone, let's throw in Lloyd. I can put him behind the chain, and there's little studs. The only bad thing is you have to bend the character. If you see the armor, you can't have it straight up, which I don't like that too much, but it's not too big of an issue. Moving along, here's a second zip line. If I were to take, say, Lloyd, he has this little climbing piece, an elemental whip, and you can kind of like plop him right on there, and he's supposed to slide down. The weight doesn't help usually, so he's kind of just slowly moving. Maybe if I took off his sword. Let's try it again. Maybe you can see Lloyd slowly moves down, but realistically, these pieces don't work as well as they probably should, because this is like rubber. This isn't like a full-on like actual like full plastic. Before we move on to the top, I want to kind of show a little bit extra just regarding the bottom section. So this jaw piece, the lower jaw, can actually be tilted up. So if you wanted it up a little higher, both ways work. I'm just doing it as I've seen it. Of course, the ball, like the actual boulder, fits more well if you do it like this. But behind the actual gong is what I want to show you next. There's these banners right here that just says SD from Ninjago translated, which I'm assuming is just Shadow Dojo. Nothing really lore related there. Moving along, you see these rocks. This top one says SHA. This lower one says DOW for Shadow. And then these four letters right here just say Dojo. So, again, nothing too special. But it is kind of cool. Maybe in the show there'll be some like encryptions or some ancient ruins or relics to kind of go with the ritual. And I really like just this like text mixed in with the stone, of course. But opposite the stone is like this black slide, which is kind of like this tree. You can see there's this little spot for archery, which I can't think of a character who's done any sort of archery since Zane back in season 8 and 9, really. So I don't know why that's there. Maybe it's just for practice, of course, because there is a whole arena aesthetic. But this whole thing is black. It has trees moving. There's a little feature with this leaf, which I'll show a bit later on. There's Evo joints connecting these in gray. Moving along, you can kind of see there's like this pit with a bone on the backside. These roots are really unique, and I actually really wasn't a fan of them looking online, but now looking at it in person, actually, I really actually like this a lot. However, if this was rock, I wouldn't complain with it. This is more different and unique, and I don't know, I kind of like that, but I'm a little bit mixed. Along the back here, kind of continues on that path I was talking about, and I really like that you actually are able to bring a character all the way to the top up here, because that's something that's usually missing. It's like, how do you get to the second section of a build? But before I move up, there's also one more thing, which is kind of hard to see. You can actually move this rock right here. If I move the camera around, you can see there's this sword that's been appearing exclusively in the March wave of sets. I don't know what the story significance of this is going to be. Maybe just one of the weapons they generically have that just gets powered up. But it's also not the only one that appears in the set. So I think this is just like a general weapon. So I don't know why it's so secretive, but it's a worthy inclusion. And if you're curious at all, there's nothing else back here, just supports. Moving to the second layer, I removed the wolf head just to kind of give you a better view of this whole balcony and open area. It actually is really open. There's plenty of room, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 studs to hold minifigures, even 6 in some spots. But my favorite part of this that I feel like I need to mention immediately is this magenta lining of the roof. There's these gaps, but at least they're shown on the box, like on the box of the set, which at least that means that Lego's not lying. Okay, these are meant to be there, and well, they can just solve it, which I understand it's hard to, and I think it's actually fine for what it does. It actually adds a bit more detailing. A little disappointing, but nonetheless great. On the top here, it says Shadow in Ninjago. Of course, and well, that's what's been appearing as it is. You can see the mallet is here for, I believe it's mallet, for the Gong of Shattering down here. You can see there's these red lanterns, one over here, one over here. Small bench that you really can't fit any characters on. And more of these jumpers for characters to go on. And you can see there's this other one here. That kind of connects down here too. There's these windows here, just kind of like this sand blue color, which is kind of unique and actually really makes this feel a lot better. Like it's not all just dark, and that's why the magenta and the purple colors really work so well on this build, because it's a splash of color but still feels like that evil, mysterious feeling. Now you can see there's these light blue flames that are meant to be going in different directions. Really nice. You don't see much light blue at all, but it is a color they use, so I'm grateful they are including it. Moving on to the roof, you can see a lot of these Nexonite shield pieces being used, and that's really nice, along with these triangle kind of tiles, along with these teeth, which really helps, and then the gold coming back once again. But the main highlight of this, of course, is the blood moon. You can see that this is a printed part, which is really nice. But if you really wanted to, you could turn this around. It's actually really easy to detach, just like that, if you didn't want it. And this is what the set looks like with that removed. And it still looks great. However, the blood moon really helps add to this whole like mystery ritual kind of feeling that the season's going for. But before we go into the back, I got one more feature I want to show you regarding this pink tree leaves right there. You can kind of see there's like this spear right there with like a tooth on it. I don't know what this is meant to represent. This is a wildness, so maybe it's like a relic. Maybe it has something to do with Chima. I really doubt so. But if you have like a character, let's say like Lloyd's like walking right here, you can actually pull this up and then he just disappears down. And so this is what the backside looks like. Again, here's the spear. Don't really know what this does or what it's for, but it seems kind of important if it's like the main center point of it. But then again, maybe this is just some way the LEGO designers can just clear some room for the set, or just kind of like give a center point to this whole set. So it could be anything, it could be nothing. Starting on the left side, there's this little sword here and this blue flame. Of course, this is a villain build, so having a sword makes a lot of sense. Why it's gold? No clue. Light blue is like a color that's really spiritual, so that does match this ritual color. Then we have this sticker, unfortunately, of like a wolf mask warrior with the really cool, unique sword with the blood moon in the back, if you can tell. And then there's like 3 others on the back, or right in the front, I should say. And then it's on this pink rock, really interesting. A lantern right here, a stud up here. Nothing really you could do up here, but if you wanted a character up there, you could. Empty hole right here. This, of course, is where the blood moon go. Of course, it's just on this translucent stand. Moving along to the other side, you can see there's this jumper again, lantern, and then you see this teapot and teacup. Is it related to Wu? I doubt so, but whether Wu returns or not, maybe in part 2 of the season, because I don't think he's really all that into it for part 1, just based on the episode leaks and the episode names and just kind of the atmosphere of where the season is going. Of course, over here is another kind of sticker poster. You see this wolf powering up again, all that red. The red color for the wolf, I think, is going to be a new minifigure in the summer based off of recent leaks for sets. So I think that's the character, like the main like villain army we're getting. This blue shield is actually very interesting because it's what appears on the Gong of Shattering. And if you don't want to get spoiled, supposedly, it's Ross's master, supposedly. And that's also the face on the Gong of Shattering. So maybe we will see this new character, villain, in the season. Or maybe this Shadow Dojo and Shatterspin is related to it. Nonetheless, this is the poster to really look out for. But for the most part, that's the interior. A lot of room to stand minifigures, which I really like. That's my overall thoughts on the set. Now let's look at the minifigures. So here are the first two ninja. All the ninja in the set come with both a golden katana and an elemental whip, which is that new custom molded piece that just came out for the new March wave. But for now, let's get rid of their weapons so we can look a little deeper at their outfits. So first up, let's look at Lloyd on the left here. Both of them use that same hood piece that came out last summer for the first season of Dragon's Rising. So it's still that bright green, bright red for Kai, of course, and the other ninja too. But the first thing that comes to mind looking at these new characters are these new dual molded armor designs that they have for their climbing suits. And it's hard to capture on video, but these look absolutely phenomenal. There are no mistakes I've seen at all with printing, no color mishaps or anything, and there's such small gold details that is really impressive. I'm a bit hesitant on that lime belt that Lloyd has right there, but I still think it works. I love the dark green arms. I think Kai's suit on the right worked exceptionally well as well with those dark red arms. You can see there's a rope and there's some shackles. These are the climber suits for the ninja, of course. So this all makes a lot of sense to have. I don't really have any more thoughts. So here's what they look like with this all new face expression that came out last summer. And I don't know, this looks nice for the suit, right? But I still don't think it's better than having an actual face expression. And I don't know if this is just like some Source Dragon energy, because only Lloyd's really experienced that so far in the show. But I don't know. I still don't like it, but at least it looks good. Without further ado, let's look at how they are from the back side. You can see they use that classic golden katana holder that's been used throughout, like all of Ninjago. Just fit a sword right in there, of course. You can fit up to 2. Like I said before, really good printing for the dual molded piece. Looking behind that armor, you can see there's still a bit of ropes. I take off the armor to show you, but there really isn't much there. But that's basically it for these two characters. Let's go look at Nia and Zane. So here's Climber, Nia, and Zane. And I've already kind of gone over how they all look, so I'm not going to go over the general thing. I'm just going to give my review over what I think of these suits. Of course, the armor looks phenomenal. Zane on the right, I don't know, that light gray for the armor, I don't know. Light blue would work worse, I think. And I don't know, in hand, I do think the gray looks a bit better than on video, but there's just still something about it in Zane's face expression I really don't like moving forward. Like, they should change it. It just feels like emotionless. And I know he's a robot, but as an android, he still has emotions. But Nia, on the other hand, I really like her. I didn't think I would, but I really do. That yellow she uses for her belt really works well, and there's something about that gunmetal gray that really just pops. And here are their alternate face expressions. I think Nia's works the absolute, one of the best out of all the ninja. Meanwhile, Zane, yet again, I know he's a ninjoid and all that, but he still just has a very expressionless face. But taking a look at their backside, I want to show that first, of course, Lloyd and Kai and all the ninja have it, but they do have these almost like medallions with their elemental symbols on them. But I took off the armor here just to kind of show that their ropes are different variants, and Nia's colors really just pop, especially on camera too. That really is shown with light. but I also want to show like their ropes are facing other sides. They have different variations, and that's really good. They're not all using the same stuff, and they all have preferences, which I think is ideal. But for other ninja, I don't know whether I will, like in the future, show how they look without armor, because I think for the most part, these two are the most unique. But now let's look at the villain minifigures. All of the villains that appear here have come in previous sets in January. However, they have some different weapons, and of course, Cinder has that new exclusive blade, not to this set, but to the whole like wave, I should say, for March. But of course, let's remove those and let's look at the characters. So I won't do too much here because we have seen these characters before. But for starters, Ross, great minifigure as always. That head is not exclusive to this wave nor January's, because it also came out in the summer wave of 2023 last year. Difference to that is he does not have any arm printing, which makes sense because it is a different outfit. It's not showing his actual fur at all. I really like his design. I don't know, is he going to be this main villain for Season 2? I think so, because we haven't seen what exactly his plan is. Cinder, of course, a great character. Master of Smoke, of course. What happened to Ash, don't know. That general look for him and Jordana, really nice. And that fur is a really nice added touch. Two of my favorite characters, however, Ross, his outfit is still way better. And looking from behind, again, really nice. Ross has a nice moon crescent on his back. I can't quite translate that. Actually, it says Ross on the back, yeah. I can make out some of the letters. That says Ross on the back of his. And then Cinder's is just generic, bit of gray on the back. But rounds it off quite nicely. His arms really work well. I think that's the main highlight, along with his unique translucent head. Ending off the cast, we have Jordana and a Wolf Mask Warrior. The Wolf Mask Warriors are going to be the main army, like villain army for this season, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. They look super powerful. Jordana, of course, was showcased in Season 1, but never had a character as like a minifigure appear before, so getting one now is really nice. Of course, both these characters are not exclusive. They came out in January. However, they're still nice characters overall. Jordana has a sword, meanwhile the Wolf Mask Warrior has these claws that I decided to keep on, these Wolverine ones, right? Jordana basically is the exact same as Cinder for outfit-wise, with the gray arms and like the general clothing style. Her hair was not accurate in Season 1, but it seems to have been updated for Season 2, which I really like. If we take off the head here, you can see it's just simple eyes. It's human, not a wolf, in case you do not know. But if we take a look on the back side of them, you can see it's kind of like blue and really, really mysterious. Is this powering up? Because I thought they were supposed to turn red. Either way, still really nice. Of course, there's this Ouroboros that either appears to be like a snake or dragon. Now I'm even thinking could even possibly be a wolf and shaped like the moon. Still very interesting. Jordana, of course, still has that same exact outfit as Cinder. But if we take off that headpiece, you can see there's her alternate face expression. Of course, yeah, she came previously. Overall, it's a really great set. Definitely one of my favorite location builds of all time. I'd probably rate it 9.5 out of 10, just because there's a few hiccups that I don't like here and there. But for the most part, characters are phenomenal choices, and the build is absolutely beautiful, and I cannot wait to see it in the show. Thank you so much for watching this review. I will be making some other set reviews and maybe some other build challenges upcoming, so stay tuned for those. And without further ado, thank you so much for watching.